Hello, darlings, and welcome to Tanks Live, the live edition. I am your host for the night, Kodi Maurice Doggette, and I'm filling in for Stevie while he's in Portugal, riding the rides, and also on a boat or something. Alongside with me tonight is my beautiful co-host and my partner in crime for the evening, Miss Teddy Alexis Rodriguez. How you doing, girl? What's going on?
Hey, I'm great.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I finally get to see you. It's been a long time.
You just saw me yesterday.
on the show, silly.
Oh, okay. We're finally together again.
Yeah, together again. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, just like that Janet concert. So we're doing it.
I did see that concert like a couple months ago.
Did you?
She's great. At the Bowl.
I want to see it in July in Newark. So I can't wait.
Oh.
Teddy, can you believe it is my last show in Kansas? Tomorrow I leave for New York City.
I'm really looking forward to you being back in New York. You need to recharge, baby.
Am I a whole different girl when I'm in New York?
I think so. Yeah, you're giving me like Dorothy vibes, but like black and white Dorothy vibes, and I need you to get into the color, baby. You know what I mean?
I go to Technicolor when I'm in New York City, right? Okay.
Yeah, HD, baby, HD.
I gotta watch out for the witches there, though.
And we'll talk about some witches today for sure.
Hey. Oh, that's all right, girl. Well, before we go on, I do want to recognize that this is the anniversary of the tragedy at Pulse. For me, it's personally a reminder that we can't allow people to steal our joy and take our pride away from us. And I think that, we should all recognize this and try and live in our truth and just go out there and be your best gay self, because these people out here ain't stopping nothing. Right, Teddy?
Amen. And, these people were mostly Puerto Rican and black, so we really resonate with us for obvious reasons. And
yes.
For me, it really prevented me to go to Pride because this is as I was moving to LA, and I was going to Pride that day. And I don't know if you heard, but there was like talk about another assault to gay pride that season, and I decided not to go. And this year was one that I actually have participated in a couple prides, so I'm kind of like living my best self. I do have some tea. Do you want to hear it?
Girl, spill. I'm ready for tea. That's why we're here and together again.
Together again. So I went to, the first one that I went to was Long Beach Pride. So LA is like 27 cities, and there's a bunch of prides, and we'll talk about that later too. But one of the first ones is Long Beach, which is in May. And Ivy Queen, which is a very famous Puerto Rican reggaeton singer, was close in it. She's amazing, right? Yeah. So I got tickets to go, and Valentina was opening for her. So
Valentina, you look gorgeous, darling.
And she did great. She did 2 songs. One of them was live, and one of them was, regular drag queen, stuff. I think it was Toxic by Britney, if I don't remember correctly. But then she was going to do another set, and this is around 9 p.m. And Long Beach Pride is a hard out at 10 p.m. because it's a Sunday when it closes. So Ivy Queen was about to do her set. So I don't know the name of the other drag queen because, there were drinks and things being passed around. So I was like not fully paying attention. But she grabbed her mic and did not let her do her second set and said, "We have a tight schedule and Ivy Queen is about to take the stage. So thank you for coming," and basically kicked her off the stage. There was like 20 minutes of dead silence. It was super
Valentina
awkward.
Off the stage?
Mm-hmm.
They kick. Oh my gosh. I know she was not happy about that.
Neither was I, because then we had like 20 minutes of nothing. I'm like, we could have another set of Valentina while the other people got ready. So I don't know what was happening, but there was some trifling going on. But I had a good time.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I love Pride in LA. I can't wait to come back and have a nice West Hollywood Pride.
So I went to the Hollywood Pride, which is the old WeHo Pride that got moved to Hollywood Boulevard, which is very close to where I live, which was last weekend. So talking about double entendres. So
you're taking it from both ends?
whenever it's available.
Come on, Eiffel Tower.
Whenever it's available, it is Pride. We have to celebrate our best gay self.
Mm-hmm.
I hosted some people here, some of my friends. I made lunch.
Sure
We
you
went
did.
to see the parade. It was very corporate, though. I did get to see Jennifer Tilly, and I lost my shit. I screamed at her so loud, and I have a
Wait, she
video
was
of
at your
it.
house?
No, she was at the parade, which is like down the
Oh,
street.
okay. I thought you had
No,
Jennifer Tilly at your house.
I wish
Oh my
I
God.
that
I was about to hang up
goddess,
on you.
that
I
goddess. Oh
love
my
her.
goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was last weekend. It was great too. We went to the beer garden. So we're priding, baby.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell my Pride stories. Pride was in Kansas City, but I wasn't able to go.
Hmm.
It's a little far from here. It's maybe like 3 hours, but I probably should have just made it. But I found out really late, so I'm gonna
Mm,
live my best gay life in New York Pride at the end of the month. So yeah, I can't
amazing.
wait.
Can't wait to hear
Well,
about it.
I'm gonna tell you all about it, darling. Don't
Please.
you worry. Are you gonna hear all the shenanigans? All right, guys, don't forget, next month we are having a live stream available on our Patreon for our Patreon members. We'll be telling stories and I'll be performing, and we'll have a gay old time on this live stream. So you guys can grab a tier at our Patreon, either at the sub level or the virgin level. And there's also a sugar daddy level if you guys are feeling generous. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can call me, DM
Oh.
me on my Instagram. So because I've been looking for a sugar daddy all this time.
Oh.
Teddy, are you going to be there? Are you going to be at the live stream?
It looks like I might be in New York for that. So we'll see.
Tell me all about it. I can't wait. That would be so lovely if you were in the room when we had our live stream. That would be so great.
It looks like I will be. So I'm really excited.
And we could have you do a reading or something.
Oh, sure. I can sing
Or
too.
interpretive dance. Oh, you can. Oh, we doing a duet?
Oh, oh, we have seen together before the show, so why not? We'll see.
When You Believe by Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey.
I do have it in the right key. I'm just saying.
Good times. I can't wait. Well, yeah, we're going to have a gale time. So you guys come and check us out. Check us out. Are you ready to get into some of these topics, Teddy?
Let's do it because they're waiting for us.
They're ready for us to slide it in, aren't they? All right. So our first story is about Pope Francis. So Pope Francis, it's basically a follow-up story. As we reported here previously, I'm in my Barbara Walters bag today, so you guys get into it, okay? Pope Francis uttered a gay slur in Italian while in a meeting with bishops. He was forced to apologize, but apparently just repeated it while in a closed-door meeting with priests suggesting that young men with homosexual tendencies should not be allowed to enter seminary. Teddy, what do you think? And because the Vatican is citing like a language barrier because the Pope is Argentinian and he's going to Italy and speaking in Italian. So how do you describe that these slurs are being thrown around? You think it's a language barrier?
It could be, but however, as somebody that speaks multiple languages, I do know that the first thing you really learn are the bad things is the first thing you learn. So, and there's no really, the word really sounds like a bad word in Spanish because he's coming from Spanish and that's my first language as well. And Italian is a romantic language. Let's get into it. That means that you can tell how things sound easily as opposed to be translating from a Germanic or an Asian language. So I'm just saying that argument is a little bit flawed, and it just seems like he is hitting the same stone twice. So, somebody once said, believe them the first time, and I do believe them the first time.
Well, I was going to give him a chance after the first time, but this second time has shown to me that he is basically doesn't care, because if you apologize for it one time, you should learn your lesson after that time, and you should, especially with a word, if it's something that's ingrained in you and it's something that is a behavioral thing, then I could see you making more than one mistake. But this is a word that you're not supposed to say, that you were made to apologize for saying it. You should know that this is something that you should not say in the future. I don't think it's a language barrier. No. I think this is how he feels, and he's showing his true colors, like you said. So I think that, I mean, I wasn't for the Catholic Church or investing in the Catholic Church anytime soon. And that this has just solidified my views on the Catholic Church, because me personally, I was coming around. I was more invested in the Catholic Church, and because I felt that they were becoming more progressive. Because growing up, I didn't feel that. I felt like they were trying to ostracize me, and they were not welcoming for the type of queer person that I was. And this is just going to solidify that. So I don't see it for the Pope. I think that, you know, everything that he did beforehand in order to include LGBTQ plus people, that was all a ruse. That was made up by the Vatican. And I think that, you know, this is something that we now know where his true colors lie. So I think it's really...
The question is now if all of that talk about progressiveness and on quotes, right? If it was just a performance, right? And just the fact that the word is a slur, specifically talking about, because also we're not talking about how problematic it is saying that gay men should not be in the seminary, right?
Right? We're only talking about the word.
The word. What about you saying that a whole group of people should not serve the church that should be inviting? So, you know, the proof is in the pudding. So, bye, girl.
Yeah, and I may not speak 4 languages like you. I pretend to speak 3, okay? But I know when not to say a bad word. You're very right. You know when something is a bad word, and you know to use it in certain spaces. So, yeah. Sorry, Pope. Bye, girl.
Girl, bye.
All right, moving right along. We're going to talk about Justice Alito's wife, how she was caught on tape at an anti-pride route. She was she was at some event, and she was caught on tape by a reporter, and they were making headlines in recent weeks over flags hung outside of their homes, from the upside down stars and stripes that was outside of their West Virginia residence to the appeal to heaven flag outside of a holiday home in New Jersey last summer. The Alitos love stating their biases with a lovely flag. And now they've been caught on tape because a progressive filmmaker, Lauren Windsor, attended an event and secretly recorded her conversations with both Alitos. The conversations were very spicy, with vague threats of revenge from the justice's wife. What's her name? Catherine? I don't know.
I think
Martha Ann. No.
Perfect. Mrs. Alito.
It's Martha Ann is her name. That's the worst name ever. That's
Martha Ann?
Martha Ann.
Oh, that's my mom's name, Martha.
Is it? Oh my gosh. But not Ann though, so
no,
you're good.
Hell no.
Yeah, she wanted to she came up with her own flag basically too, and she called it the shame flag. And another instance where Italian was used to put down the LGBTQ plus people, she said shame in Italian. I'm not even going to attempt to say the word because, you know, Italian is not one of the languages I pretend to know.
Sure.
So, Teddy, what do you think about the justice's wife being caught on tape saying these things about the LGBTQ plus community and hanging their shame flag?
I want to start with a quote from Glinda, and it says, "Only bad witches are ugly." You know, this really is kind of scary because it shows the lack of decorum of the justices. And we'll talk about the wife here in a second, but both of justices should not be engaging in opinions to the public because they're supposed to be the supreme justice, right? So justice is blind. Yes. Justice is supposed to be blind. And when you're coming to an event that is a public event, and I don't agree on how these tapes were obtained. There was a little bit of gaslighting on it. However, they're available, so let's talk about them. The thing is that you're showing the lack of decorum, and you're really showing that you're unfit to be a justice of the highest court in the United States of America. And some people argue that even the world, because of how much influence our country has. So that's scary. And I actually feel kind of salty when we talk about flags, because as a Puerto Rican citizen whose flag was banned for 50 years by the United States of America, it's really annoying when I see all these flags that are literally unpatriotic and un-American, and people claiming to be patriotic using them against their own people. It's really triggering for me. So this is really gross. And ironically, we actually thought that the new justices were the ones that were going to be more problematic. But hey, no, the old guard decided to also engage into problematic behavior. These are
they were
scary
like, "You're
times.
not gonna outdo me."
They're like, "Hold my beer, bitch." I'm like, "Can y'all?"
I can show you problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the tape and it was just ridiculous. She went off and she was not even a little bit humble about it. She was very she was peacocking basically, and in her hate, in her disgust. So it's really, it gives me pause as far as the justices are concerned, because I think that the Supreme Court is actually very biased now. It's not an unbiased situation where there are more are equal parts liberal and Republican. It's very, very right wing based right now. So I actually got an email today from, I think it, I know, right? From one of the legal action places, and I wrote to a couple of my senators about reforming the Supreme Court, because it's just getting out of hand, and we can't allow this to happen. We have to use our voices to make ourselves heard in this, because it's completely unacceptable.
Yeah, and these people are pretending that they represent the people, but they're not. They don't have the interests of the people at best, at their heart. So they're really going rogue basically. And when the institutions go rogue, then people lose faith in the institutions, and that's how all these anarchist political figures raise up. And we have to be very vigilant. So
it's so great that you bring that up, because one of the quotes that Martha said on the tape, she was like, they always lead with their, or maybe it was Justice Alito, but somebody said they always lead with their heart and they don't ever use their brain. I don't think there is a lot of heart left in the Supreme Court right now. So I think that they're all about their own predilections that are going on there. I don't know if that's a real word, but we're going to use it. We're going
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that word?
I think that they're using their own biases and their faith basically as their guide, instead of using what is best for the country and the law and the government. So that's what I mean by that. They're going by their faith, and they're allowing that. And what happened to separation of church and state? It's getting out of hand right now, because we're becoming a puritanical society, in my opinion, because of all of these faith-based justices and laws that are going out there. So we need to do more to push against that tide that it's coming up against us. Anything more?
No.
We're done.
The most political stuff today.
We could talk about that for a while.
Oh my God, yes.
But so moving right along, we're going to talk a little bit about Maren Morris. On Sunday, singer-songwriter Maren Morris came out as bisexual in a new post shared on social media. Morris shared an Instagram carousel of herself in pictures from a concert in Phoenix, and she wrote in the caption, "Happy to be the B in the LGBTQ plus. Happy Pride," with a rainbow emoji. Between 2022 and 2023, Maren Morris she announced that she'd be stepping away from country music due to disagreeing with certain stances within the industry, including anti-LGBTQ plus rhetoric pushed by conservatives and co-opted by many country artists. She's called out homophobia in many affluent country music artists and even offered support to an out gay country singer, Adam Mack, after he had to back out of a music festival due to experiencing homophobia.
Wow.
Teddy, what do you think about Maren Morris coming out? I had to look at her name again. I'm like,
I'm not very familiar with her, to be honest, but I'm happy for her. You know, when you're bi, you're like literally all encompassing, right? So your roster, it's doubled. So good for you. But I also feel sad that she's leaving country. I mean, we do need more people like her in that genre, and just the fact that she has to leave one of her artistic expression. It's really sad to me. So congratulations, and I hope that she finds some space where she can actually create and that is not toxic for her. So snaps for her.
Yeah, I agree. And I wanted to do this story really because I think that we need more representation in country music or in that sphere more. So I'm glad that she came out. I'm glad that she's been fighting the good fight, because I was a little bit suspicious. I have a suspicious mind, darling. I don't know if you have, have witnessed it. Because I was actually a little bit wary of her, because when people come out and they're like, oh, I'm this, but it's kind of safe, and I don't think that it's safe ever to come out. But I feel like when you come out as bisexual in the public eye, I feel like it could also be a ploy to make sure that you can still be safe to the people that are your base, but it's also appealing to another side of people too. So I think that it's one way to ride the fence by coming out as bisexual in the public eye, not in everyday life. But I do think that she's doing the right thing, and she's fighting the good fight, because she's been fighting it for a long time. So when I heard of all her support of the LGBTQ plus community and of Adam Mack in particular, that made me want to do this story more and really shout her out. So thank you, Maren, for coming out and standing with us all this time, and thank you for being a part of our community. So
welcome.
All right, moving right along. David Archuleta, we're talking about him. In other coming out news, David Archuleta just did an interview with NBC News detailing his coming out journey and finding joy and happiness stepping outside of his bubble, aka the Mormon Church, and living his life authentically as a queer man. And that was so inspiring, especially during Pride Month. What do you think, Teddy? What do you think about David Archuleta and his coming out journey? Teddy Archuleta. I think that's your married name.
Let's manifest that so hard. So, I follow his journey since he was an American Idol, because I always knew that he was gay. And I think an ex-Mormon is kind of like the demographic that I should be. I just really... There's some things about an ex-Mormon that I really like. But David, he's a baby gay, right? Like what he's describing is that now he has to kind of make up for the time that he lost. And, he didn't even know the deliciousness of a coffee. And imagine extrapolating that all the way to sex and, intimacy, kissing a guy for the first time. So all of those things he has to do now, and it will be exciting, and also it can be a little bit messy. So I hope he gives himself a little bit of grace. And like I put in the chat, I'm available if he needs any guidance.
You think you'll see this chat, girl?
33, that sounds perfect. Oh my goodness. What do you think? He looks amazing, right? He looks great.
Yeah. We look the same age.
Sure.
No, this is a great story, and I'm so glad that he is finally living in his truth, because like you, I detected a little bit of something. I was wondering, I'm not here to put any labels on any people.
Sure.
But I was like, I wonder. My gaydar was going off a little bit, so I'm glad that he's finally living in his truth, and I'm glad that he came out and not necessarily spoke against the Mormon Church, but
Yeah.
he said that he values the Mormon Church and all that it taught him, but it wasn't allowing him to be his best self. So if you have to separate yourself from something so that you can be your best self and you can really thrive out here in this world, I think that's a great thing. And you have to let go of things that don't serve you. And I think that him and the Mormon Church, it wasn't serving him. So he did what he had to do in order to drink coffee and go out and be in love with boys. So I think that this is fantastic.
Me too. And I think he has the right framework of mind because he's really taking this experience and taking the best of it and then leaving the bad stuff behind, right? So he's not really living into, oh, I lost all this time. He's just, you know what? There were good things and I'm going to take these things. That's why relationships, they end if people really framework their head around the good things that they learn from the relationship. Really they can heal way faster as opposed to let's play the blame game. And I think that's what he's doing. And like I said, I'm available.
You better preach, Daddy. I do want to go back for just a second and say what Doug said about Justice Alito's Karen wife.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Doug said that she chased down one of their neighbors and spat on the neighbor. That is
allegedly.
Unhinged.
Yeah,
allegedly. Thank you very much.
But you know what? I'm
reading it here like it's gospel.
Yeah, you're like, this is what happened.
I watched it happen. I videoed.
I was there. No, it tracks with the energy that she was putting because the two justices were like more calm and kind of like were a little bit more reserved, even though in the problematic way of going about. And I don't say about their position. I really say about them engaging in that kind of conversation when they're literally the Supreme Justices. But her was like, she was just ready. You know, when you have something to say and you're just just waiting for somebody to ask you, that's what she was. It's like, let me talk about this flag. And she was really like talking about like that seems like a freaking history of flags course. I'm like, what is going on right now? So yeah, it tracks. That's what I can say.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Hey there, your host and creator of Tags, Steve V here. Well, I'm so excited the unofficial kickoff of summer is officially here. What took you so long? I am so ready. I went on a long, rigorous hike yesterday with my guy, and to keep my energy up for both the hike and my guy later, I made sure I took Joy Mode's Sexual Performance Booster. I mean, it's full of all kinds of good stuff. It contains clinically supported doses of arginine nitrate, L-citrulline, Panax ginseng, and vitamin C. Not only is this the only supplement you'll need in the bedroom, but it also supports blood vessel support, cardiovascular plus heart health, athletic performance, all the things needed for a vigorous hike or workout in the bedroom. Whether you're looking to spice up your intimate moments or increase your confidence in the bedroom, Joy Mode makes all natural and science-backed supplements dedicated to helping men perform better across their core functions. Their trademark product, the Sexual Performance Booster, is every man's solution for increased blood flow, firmness, stamina, and performance. Don't forget about Joy Mode's other signature products like the Testosterone Support Complex, which is designed to support testosterone levels, general vitality, muscle strength, and energy. Guys, we talk about testosterone all the time on the show, and I'm really loving this product. Also, their Sleep Support Complex is designed to help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep, and improve sleep quality so that you wake up feeling rested, recovered, and ready to perform at your best. Go to usejoymo.com/tags and get 20% off with the code TAGS, TAGS, at checkout. You don't want to miss this offer. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code TAGS, TAGS, at usejoymode.com/tags. Great sex solved naturally.
All right. Moving right along.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk about Ncuti Gatwa. I got it right. And
Yeah.
Jonathan Groff's passionate kiss on Doctor Who. Teddy, have you watched Doctor Who?
I don't watch those Doctor Who. I do follow kind of like their, postings and the new doctors and things. So I was really excited when Nashuri got the job, and now that I saw the clips of him and Jonathan Groff. Jonathan Groff, I had a crush for like 20 years because I'm like a musical
believe
theater fanatic, and he has such a beautiful voice.
And looking. Hello.
Remember, that was such a good show. And now that I see them together, I'm like, wow, look at those two queer men just like hot for
I would
each
watch
other.
that OnlyFans.
That's not an OnlyFans,
Right.
but okay.
I mean, I would watch it. I would pay good money for that. So Ncuti Gatwa is the new doctor, and on Doctor Who, and he's doing an amazing job. I watched the show and I just love him. I think that he's so good. It's a bit of an acquired taste. You have to get used to the humor and the way it is because I mean it's British, so
Right.
and I'm an American, so I don't really get a lot of the humor or where they're coming from. It's a little weird, but I'm getting used to it and I'm loving it. I love the episode with Jinx Monsoon in it, and I really love this episode with Jonathan Groff. But in the most recent episode entitled Rogue, the Doctor and Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson, time travel to 1813, where they meet a bounty hunter named Rogue, who is Jonathan Groff's character. And they're hunting a shape-shifting criminal. And in the episode, a kiss is featured between the Doctor and Rogue, making it the first time that the Doctor has kissed someone of the same gender that they showed feelings for. It's happened before with individuals that didn't have feelings towards each other. It was just like two men kissing because of circumstances, and there was a female doctor that was romantically interested in another one of the characters that was a female, but they never actually kissed. So this is actually something that is so
that was the
pivotal,
last Doctor was female, right?
yeah, exactly, with the blonde hair. I've never watched Doctor Who, but I know all of the doctors. What do you think
when the
about this
casting.
monumental? Yeah. What do you think about this monumental kiss in media?
I love it. I think we need more of this, and to make it more normal and normalize it. Just that it doesn't make the news anymore, right? Hey, just happened to be a gay character, and of course they're gonna kiss at some point. We don't want to do. Remember Melrose Place, where like the gay characters will all in love and never touch each other and on camera. Even
Sounds
though
like my last relationship. Wait. What? Go ahead. I didn't say that.
Remember what I said about healing from relationships? Girl.
Go ahead. That was a joke.
There's a lot of truth in jokes, like you said to me
No,
once.
there's no truth in that one.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
So yeah, we just need more of this for sure. I like that something that has Doctor Who has a huge legacy, right? So I'm excited about this, and I don't know how their numbers are doing either. I don't know if they went up, they were down, if they're the same. It will be interesting to see what the trends are, and then compare that with the legacy that show has. So I'm really, really happy and really excited about a show that I don't even watch, and I'm like tempted to watch it now because there's something for me now, right?
Yeah, and Ncuti is so fantastic. He was in Barbie. I've seen him in this. He's really, really a captivating and charismatic doctor. So I highly recommend it.
I agree.
And I think this kiss is so important because Doctor Who is huge around the world. And for them to show this kiss between two men who happen to be of different races, I think that it's something that will open a lot of minds. So I'm glad that this happened, and I'm glad that Ncuti and Jonathan Groff were the people to do it. And I'm glad that they're incorporating non-binary people as far as Jinx Monsoon is concerned, and drag queens. And I think that this is it's an eye-opening, and I think it's it's on the cusp for opening minds and just giving people a lot to think about and and really resonating with people as far as pushing boundaries is concerned. So I'm really happy.
Snaps for Doctor Who.
Snaps for Doctor Who, and I will give you my Disney Plus if you need it, if you want to watch it.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
You still owe me that other one. What was it?
Out TV? I give it to you.
I need Out TV.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Well, I'll
put it on the chat.
On a call after this. Okay. No, not put it in the chat.
All right, next topic.
Do you have any comments or anything?
So allegedly, the doc told me is that the former neighbor is on MSNBC right now and he's watching it. So that's so it's breaking news. God. Breaking news on a live.
The tea, Doug. Doug, you have to keep. We'll bring you on the stage if you want to come through.
He will be our correspondent.
He will be our man on the street.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving right along. A trans employee slams Marvel. So Marvel revealed last month that instead of doing their usual Pride anthology, which is a bunch of books that they use and to highlight LGBTQ plus characters, the publisher will release a one-shot, which is the X-Men: The Wedding Special between Mystique and Destiny, which I have right here. I can't believe that I didn't mention that Raven and Irene got married, and I bought the comic book here in Kansas, and I'm so excited about this. It came out like 2 weeks ago. My heart is so full, and it was so amazing. But so that was a great book that they released. But in future issues, where they would usually have LGBTQ plus characters, they're going to highlight what they call allies, LGBTQ plus allies. So this is really surprising because I feel like a trans employee came out and spoke against this, saying that they should not have highlighted the allies. They should be featuring the queer characters as they would and as they did in future in past issues editions, where it came out. Yes, exactly. So in previous years, what had happened was they came out with LGBTQ plus anthologies, issues where it featured LGBTQ plus people, but now they're going towards the allies in order to, what this trans employee said, to garner straight audiences. So what do you think about this, Teddy?
Trash.
This
is the problem.
Okay.
A lot of people think that the A in LGBTQIA is ally, but that A is for asexual. Allies do not belong in the LGBT plus community. And, you know, when the compendiums, these anthologies come out, it's literally the most easiest thing because they're not doing new stories. They're just putting them together in anthology that I have. The DC anthology from last year here, they just put it together and do a reprint. So they're not doing anything new. So just the fact that they decided not to highlight queer characters is a complete trash from Marvel. And I'm glad they have the wedding edition. And what the trans employee that is anonymous, what they were saying is, by the way, you're doing the very least minimum, and then now you're like kind of being problematic because you're using Pride to highlight non-LGBT people. That's actually really, really, it's a trend of erasure almost, where you're basically, can you imagine if for Black History Month we're like, we're gonna highlight all the white people? Like it doesn't make any sense. And we have to be vigilant of this because usually these people will get into the spaces and take out the people that are actually working. And I take Pride very seriously because, you know, Pride is a protest, right? And it started in Stonewall. And the year after, when they did Pride, there's video of Sylvia Rivera, which was there in Pride, being booed for her full speech. So whenever we're doing this stuff, that's what we're doing. We're just repeating the history. So every time I see when trans people are protesting in Pride and like the gay men booing them, that's a shame. And that's not knowing the history. So shame on Marvel.
Yeah, shame on Marvel. I think this is completely, it's out of pocket really, because I feel like they're basically dumbing down their content to the lowest denominator with this. They are basically, like you're saying, erasing all the LGBTQ plus characters in favor of highlighting straight characters. And especially during Pride, this is ridiculous. I can't imagine a time where they would basically replace us with straight characters that are more palatable to straight audiences. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, the comic book community is real. There are a lot of people out there that are LGBTQ plus, but there are even more people that have issues with the LGBTQ plus community. So I think it's really, they're going the way of Target basically, and they're hiding us in favor of appeasing these other people, and that's not the way it should be. It should be equality for all people. So what were you going to say?
Well, the tag of the email that they posted online, it literally sounded like a fucking SNL sketch, because the tag was, "This year for Pride, we'll be highlighting the allies." Are you kidding? That literally sounds like the opening of an SNL sketch, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's ridiculous.
Insane.
And it's diabolical, really, because these stories that were attributed and featuring LGBTQ plus people, they're going to straight people now. But on the cover is a gay person. So you want to pick up the cover an LGBTQ plus person. So you pick up the cover thinking that it's going to be an LGBTQ plus story, but it's really actually a story about a straight person. So it's diabolical, actually.
It's called bamboozling, and that's for Black contact when they're. So we were talking about the movie Bring It On. What is the Black lead in that? Her name escapes me.
Gabrielle Union.
She was talking about how when they were testing the movie, the Black characters were testing so well, and then the studio, instead of expanding those characters, what they did is they shot a bunch of content that was for the trailer and not for the movie. So in the trailer, there's a bunch of scenes that never were going to make the movie in order to capture the audience, and literally being bamboozled into believing that the movie was basically half and half, and it was just, the white girls from the Taurus the whole time. Not talking trash about the movie, because I love that movie, but at the same time,
I've never seen it.
You never seen Bring It On?
I've never seen it.
It's on Stars right now.
I know what you're talking about, because I would watch the trailer and I was like, "Oh, it must be half and half." But no, that's not what you're telling me.
But they did that on purpose. Gabrielle Union said that she shot content that she knew it was never gonna make the movie, and it was because they were testing, because it was on. You shoot the principal photography, and then they can call you back to do additional. They can call you back to do additional audio or additional content that they need. So they brought him all back, and they were shooting all these scenes that none of them had plot, none of them had lines or anything. It was just a lot of B-roll, and like she was suspicious, and it was literally for the trailer.
Yeah, and they knew it when they were filming it too, probably. They were like, okay.
No, girl. Yeah.
A mess. Anyway, let's skip Jon Stewart, because I feel like this is devolving into a very political episode. So, I think we kind of covered it anyway. So, we got our ideas out there. So we're going to move on to a story about old-timey names for gay. Are you an old gay like Teddy? Well,
I hate you so much.
The Advocate has compiled a list of 15 words to take you back to your heyday. Let's reminisce before Teddy has to go tell kids to get off of his lawn. Teddy, would you mind reading some of these old-timey names from back in your day?
I do mind now. Just kidding. So this is an article that I brought, and that's how you're gonna introduce it, you bitch.
I mean, I do what I gotta do. Angles told me to do it.
That's the first one. So we have friend of Dorothy. I've heard that many times, which I love. Poof. Have you heard that one? Poof.
Poofta. I think I've heard it in England when I was in England.
So it's Australian/British, and it's derived from the sounds that your stretch anus do.
Not mine. Maybe yours, not
Don't,
mine.
bro. Don't tempt me with a good time. Okay. Flit. Have you heard that one?
No, what's that mean? Where's that come from?
It comes from The Catcher in Rye. It's a novel from the 1950s. Now I want to read that.
Okay.
Bugger.
Okay. All right, go right ahead.
Bugger. Okay. No reaction. Fairy.
Where's
That's
that
of
one from?
Bugger is British too, from the UK. This is very Eurocentric, this list, so maybe we can find someone that is like more inclusive next time. Bugger, it's a word that straight British men use to refer to gay men, so it might be a little bit problematic, maybe. Fairy, we heard fairy many times.
Yeah, I heard that one before. Yeah, I've been called that one.
Pansy.
Before. Yep.
It's from Germany. Pansy.
Oh, look at that. What else? What else you got for me?
Fruit, also fruitcake, is from the gay subculture of Polari.
Yeah. What about pillow biter? Did you see pillow biter?
Pillow biter is one of the last ones. Yes.
Oh.
Pillow princess. Remember that one? It's not on the list.
Oh.
One of the weirdest one is called Uranian.
What is that? What's that one from?
Is a reference of a book called The Race of Uranian Hermaphrodites, a man-loving half-man from 1864. Wow, that's old.
Wow.
The term
Well,
mostly used by German men. And Nancy is the last one. Nancy boy.
Nancy boy. How many of these have you actually heard or been called?
I've been called like half of them. I would
say
Nancy and Friend of Dorothy is my favorite because I like Judy Garland so much.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I like Judy. I'm a Judy guy. And Pillow Biter. I heard that one before. In some other context. Let's just say that.
I bet you have. I don't need to.
What's your favorite?
We can talk. I personally like. I like Nancy Boy definitely, and Shirt Lifter is one that I hadn't heard before, but it's a British slang as well. The British people have a lot of words for homosexual. I don't know why, but I think it's causing some alarm. So
if you have that many words, you know what I mean?
It's suspect.
Suspect.
I hear you, girl. I hear
sus.
you.
Very sus. Very sus.
Very sus. All right. So moving right along, we're gonna do some Reddits now. Are you ready, Teddy?
Sure. Am I reading the?
No, I'm gonna read the first one for us. So it's about the best gay hookup dating apps in 2024. This writer goes in and says, I'm exploring the dating scene and am curious about the best gay hookup apps available in 2024. I'm looking for apps that are popular, safe, and user-friendly. It's important that these apps offer a welcoming community and a strong privacy feature, as well as being effective for making real connections. Teddy, what is your advice to this person that is looking for wonderful dating apps in 2024? Do you date, Teddy?
I date. I go on hookups. I do all of it. Do not do Archer. That's what I'm gonna say. I have beef with Archer, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm doing this in the podcast because I was co-hosting that day when the Archer marketer came, and I got kicked out of Archer. Wanna hear the dirt?
It's why. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I was part of the beta testing here in Los Angeles because it started in New York and then it opened to the tri-state area and then it came to LA. And I was using it great. And then they decided to up the feature of privacy and like identity confirmation because the good thing about Archer is that nobody could be faceless, right?
Okay. Yeah. So, let me call my Archer right now.
Go on your Archer. You probably can log in. Mine decided to log me out, and because my number is from the island, they decided that number was not good and I needed to get an American number. And I'm like, I'm in the United States, so I don't understand. I contact the people. They were super rude. I contact the marketer, and he left me on red. So I do not recommend Archer. However, It depends on
What
what
do you
your
recommend?
It depends on what your
Okay.
tribe is, right? So I feel like I like Scruff because I like beefy guys and bears and things like that. So that's a good place for me. I just got Sneefies yesterday, and that's intense for me. That's way too intense.
Mama. Wait, you just went on Sniffies yesterday?
Yesterday for the show, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try Sneefies, and there were 2 orgies being hosted like 2 blocks down. I'm like, this is really intense. We like list and confirm things, and so that one is very sex oriented, which if that's what you're looking for, it's great. Good old Grinder is always there. I feel like Grinder has lost some of their like people. I feel like there's less people and like too much ads. Too much ads. That's where, and I never had a good experience in Tinder. Everybody's crazy on Tinder, in my opinion. What are your recommendations?
So wait, what do you actually recommend? Because I hear a lot of no.
No, I said Scruff and Grinder and Sneefies if you're looking for sex.
Okay, perfect. I really enjoy Sniffies because, I'm still a little heartbroken. So I am definitely not looking for a relationship at this time. Unless you know who you are.
Oh.
So Sniffies is the way to go for me. I've just heard about something new though, as far as, web-based dating apps go, or sex apps basically. But
Which one?
I've had a lot of luck on. I don't remember the name right now. I probably shouldn't even brought it up.
You're great source. Great source.
I know, right? I'll look it up and I'll post it on the website later on. But I think that also Scruff is good. Grinder is falling off a little bit.
I think so
for
too.
me personally. But I also go on Dude's Nude, which has a video chat feature.
Oh, I never done that one.
You need to do it.
That's web based or it's an app?
It's web based basically. So yeah, it's I enjoy that one a lot. I go on there a bunch, and yeah. So Sniffies and Dude's Nudes for me is what I really do a whole bunch. When I get back to New York, I'm probably going to go on Sniff.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, darling. Of course, I had to prepare myself.
I know. What is your picture on Sniffies?
Next. So the next story is.
All right. I think that's an answer.
It's not my face. It's not my face.
I love you. I love you.
The lower half of my body.
I imagine.
You don't have to imagine. I could show you my picture in.
Oh my God, send it to me, please.
I can move my profile to a different place. And
I'll
I've
send
done
you my
before.
address and my P.O. box, whatever you need.
Perfect. All right, moving
Say
right
less.
along.
Say less.
This is a good one. So let's get to it. The next
right.
Reddit is how do I deal with rejection at cruise clubs? I don't want you guys to think that this post is superficial, but I'm going to be straightforward with the problem. I'm in my late 30s, and I consider myself a normal, straight passing guy. That is disgusting.
Problematic.
Anyway, not ugly, not handsome, just normal. My body is something that I don't like. I never really made sports in my life, so I have almost no muscles and a belly that I hate. During my life and during my time living in the United States, I don't remember lots of rejection, maybe because I was meeting people on Grindr, or maybe because living in a small town in South Carolina, the things work a little bit different. But then last year, they moved to Europe and they started going to sex clubs and the sex parties. So for the first time, they experienced rejection. Oh, that must be nice. And what it was like to be invisible. I know, right? I do not want to diminish anybody's pain, but they went to a party in Berlin and were probably 1,000 guys inside, and nobody wanted to do anything with them. Aww, and nobody looked at them. So their questions is, how do you deal with rejection in cruise clubs and parties? What should they do to improve their chances of getting laid? And what should they start going to the gym, or is it too late for that? Teddy, what are your opinions on this person?
Okay,
and
I have a lot of opinions.
Let's go, bitch.
Nobody's gonna love yourself if you don't love yourself. That's the first thing.
Okay.
And it sounds super cliche, but it's so true. Because when you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, that reads like miles away. That's the first thing, right? Second thing, anything that you're not comfortable with in your body, you have the power to control it, right? So it's never too late. You can start working out at 37. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
So if you don't like your body, then you can change it. You know, I've met people that don't like being skinny and they gain weight, and the opposite, and get more tone, whatever. So that's the first thing. And second of all, we all get rejected, and we all get rejected all the time. And if you're in a sex positive space or a bathhouse or a sex party, you know, don't pretend that everybody's going to like you, because even the most quote unquote hottest guy, there are people that don't want to be with them. Everybody has their own
Don't
thing.
I know it?
Yeah. And you're pretty hot, and I'm sure that you.
Thank you.
No, you're
That was a joke,
gorgeous. No, it's
stop.
in all
I don't need
seriousness, you're to me you're a 10 all around. And
Oh
I'm
my
sure,
gosh, I was asking for this a little bit, but now that it's here,
you don't like the positive
I'm getting a little
affirmation.
shy now.
You don't like this dude. Look, it's funny because a friend of mine was here and he threw like a beer can in the recycle, and I tell him, "Good job. That's my recycling." And because he's so used to negative reinforcement, he went and took it out of the recycling. And I'm like, "Are you that used to negative reinforcement that when I tell you something positive, you do the opposite?" He's like, "Yeah, it's sad." But you're gorgeous. You're a 10, and we all deal with rejection. And
You're gorgeous.
The thing is, just pivot, right? Oh, that guy doesn't want to be with me. There were 1,000 guys. I doubt that you really cruised the 1,000 guys. This is what happened. I'm gonna predict what happened. You went to the couple of hot guys, and they were like, no. They were probably tired. Most of the times, people are taking breaks in between. They don't want to have sex the whole time. And you went into a corner, and then nobody's gonna go and look for the sad person in the corner. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Okay, baby?
Thank you for that, Walter Mercado. I love it. I love that prediction.
So, love for you, baby. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. I agree with you. I think that what happened was they're not feeling comfortable in their body, which, as you pointed out, if you are not satisfied with your body and your physical appearance, it's never too late to go and change it. It's never too late to actually start going to the gym and working out and doing things that you can do in order to be more happy with your appearance. Also, I agree with you that they didn't do their research or what they wanted to. They didn't, go and cruise a bunch of guys. Also, I feel like they didn't do their research as far as going to a place that was more inclusive to them, because I'm sure in Berlin, there are a lot of places and a lot of spaces where their body type would be more appreciated. So I think that's something that they should look into, because, if you are a certain way and a certain type, then you should go to where you're appreciated. I feel like that is something that a lot of people don't really look into, and I feel like that is a lot of people's. They get caught up in one certain type of positive reinforcement, and they don't go to where the actual positive reinforcement is. So I think that's all they need to do, is to expand their viewpoint and where they're going to, have these hookups or what have you. So I think that's great. We're going to move on to Thirst Trap. Go ahead and put the Thirst Trap into the chat so everybody can look at her. Thank you, Miss Teddy.
It's coming.
As I heard that
there
before.
You go.
See, it just comes out.
It does, doesn't it?
All right, straight up gay porn. This is our segment that we do, the Thirst Trap, and we are going to descriptively describe our favorite. It's on Straight Up Gay Porn, and yeah, go right ahead, Teddy, and let us know what you think. Who is your favorite for this week?
Look,
and descriptively describe them because it's an audio podcast when it gets repackaged.
Exactly. Well, my favorite is Xiao X or Chao X. I don't know how to pronounce.
Oh my god, we picked the same one.
Did
This happened to me and
we?
Steve last week.
Oh, cute.
It's Caio.
Caio. I love me a Brazilian man, and this man is so gorgeous. He's black. He has a very huge and girthy penis on cod. His verse, I was doing some research, if you know what I mean.
Mama, me too.
And then he has some ink, right? It's like a cool full chest
It's an owl.
tattoo.
It's a full chest owl. Yes.
Which signifies knowledge. So I feel like if I am with this man, I will be learning a lot, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, this is my pick. What is your pick?
Mine too. That's my pick. He's just delicious, and he has the smoothest mocha complexion, and he's sitting down holding that big fat cock, and he's got this stern look on his face, like he means business. And I'm all about business when it comes to what's going on in this picture. So Caio is my pick too. So there's some other guys on the list that I kind of fancied a little bit, but they're straight. So during Pride Month, I shan't be picking anybody straight.
I don't understand why they keep putting straight guys in this list. I'm a little, concerned about that. I can talk about Tony Genius because he's another brother that is really good looking, and he's gay. And he's local to me, so anytime you're needing anything, just let me know.
Are you calling Tony Genius?
I am manifesting. It's called Manifest. It's called Manifest.
Okay. Right. So, are we gonna list all your paramours for this episode?
I mean,
David Archuleta,
Xiao X, and
Justin
Tony Genius.
Toledo.
No, oh hell no! You're the one that wants to be with Martha and Alito.
No, I'm good, thank you. All right, that is our show for this evening. You can follow our special, lovely guest co-host Teddy Alexis on Instagram at Teddy Alexis. You can follow me on two different Instagrams, KMD Coaching for life coaching, and Mr. Maurice for my thirst traps. And follow the amazing Stevie at I am _ Steve V on Instagram, and follow his Twitter for some spicy, juicy content on Tags Podcast. All right, Teddy, thank you so much. And thank you to the audience for coming through. So Teddy, you're amazing. I can't wait to co-host with you again. And in the meantime, audience, continue having hot,
gay
sex.